Russia versus Ukraine army size compared, 10 military comparison facts. Hola, welcome back to the brand new video. Are you wondering about who is more powerful in this recent international conflict between Russia and Ukraine? Heavily armed Russian troops are rapidly pushing towards Ukraine's capital of Kyiv, and US officials are warning the city could fall within days. The military capabilities of these two nations are so imbalanced that Ukraine's defiant president, Volodymyr Zelensky, implored his Western allies overnight to do more than impose sanctions to get Russian troops off Ukrainian soil. In this video, you'll discover major comparison facts on how the two countries' military capabilities stack up. Take a moment to like this video. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't. Without wasting a single moment, let's head towards the video. Number 1. Russia and Ukraine at a glance. Prior to getting solidly into the subject, how about we jump a bit into the history of Russia and Ukraine? Russia and Ukraine are the two biggest nations in Europe. The neighbors were important for the 15 Soviet republics that made up the USSR. Following the breakdown of the Soviet Union in 1991, Ukraine turned into an autonomous nation and removed itself from Russia. In March 2014, following a very long time against government fights in Ukraine that saw a Kremlin-accommodating pioneer eliminated from power, Russia attacked and attached the Crimean Peninsula. The continuous battling there has killed more than 14,000 individuals, as per Kyiv, and uprooted millions. Number 2. Conflict at a glance. In March 2021, Russian troops began amassing along the Ukrainian border. In December 2021, an estimated 100,000 Russian soldiers were concentrated along the Ukraine border. After months of tension and fights, on February 24th, Russian forces launched a full-scale military invasion of Ukraine. Kyiv has declared martial law, saying Ukraine will defend itself. As of the 12th day of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the UN confirmed in a statement on Monday it had recorded 406 civilian deaths and 801 injuries as a result of the conflict. Number 3. Military power. Russia has one of the most impressive militaries on the planet. It positions in the best 5 countries which spend the most on their military. In 2020, Russia burned through $61.7 billion on its tactical, representing 11.4% of government spending. In correlation, Russia burned through $5.9 billion on its military, or 8.8% of government spending, as per the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. Various nations have sent military gear to Ukraine, including Javelin hostile-to-tank rockets from Estonia and Stinger against airplane rockets from Latvia and Lithuania. Kyiv is additionally using Turkish-made Bayraktar drones for observation. Ukraine likewise got shipments of weapons from the US as a feature of a $200 million cautious bundle endorsed by President Joe Biden in December. Number 4. Nuclear weapons. Even though Ukraine doesn't have atomic weapons today, it had roughly 5,000 atomic weapons once upon a time. Ukraine was once a piece of the Soviet Union before 1991, clarifying the present circumstance. As a result of its disintegration, every one of the satellites and expresses that had been forcibly joined to the USSR got a few warheads. The Soviet Union had claimed them already. Ukraine, in any case, got all that had a place with the USSR after it became free, including atomic weapons. Because of this, Ukraine turned into the 3rd biggest atomic weapon holder universally. As a country directed north of 700 atomic weapons tests, Russia is viewed as the 2nd most significant in atomic weapons advancement. Like the United States, Russia currently has 6,490 warheads, which is not really more than the United States. Additionally, 1,600 conveyed warheads contrasted with the 1,600 in the American case. In all actuality, the world's biggest bomb is the Russian-made monster bomb. The impact yield was 50 megatons of TNT, known as Tsar Bomba. Number 5. Defense spending. Simply a gander at how much cash the two countries spend on guard gives a sign of the hole between the two. Ukraine burned through $4.7 billion out of 2021, a little more than a tenth of atomic-furnished Russia's $45.8 billion, as indicated by the Military Balance report by the International Institute for Strategic Studies, distributed a week ago. While the Russian government sent off a drive in 2008 to modernize its military, Ukraine's weapons are still generally from the Soviet period, after a concise conflict with Georgia exposed hardware deficits. In its desire to join NATO, Ukraine has rearranged its military construction and has plans to refurnish its flying corps with Western battle airplanes by the mid-2030s. It additionally plans to work on its maritime ability. Number 6. Manpower. Russia has 900,000 dynamic faculty in its military and 2 million available later. Ukraine has 196,000 and 900,000 reservists. Ukraine on Wednesday started recruiting reservists matured 18 to 60, as indicated by IISS. Island powers alone, Russia enjoys a twofold benefit, with 280,000 soldiers to Ukraine's 125,600. Furthermore, its flying corps is almost multiple times as solid, with 165,000 to Ukraine's 35,000. Yet as far as the number of troops in this specific activity, an exploration examiner who dealt with the IISS report said Russia has an estimated 200,000 staff in and around Ukraine. Number 7. Weaponry and vehicles. There's a ton to think about here. Assault airplanes, reinforced vehicles, surface-to-air rockets, yet Russia just has a greater amount of everything as a general rule. For instance, Russia has more than 15,857 reinforced battling vehicles to Ukraine's 3,309. It has multiple times the airplanes, 1,391 to Ukraine's 128, and 821 helicopters to Ukraine's 55, on the off chance that you incorporate Navy airplane. Furthermore, where Russia has 49 submarines, Ukraine has none, as per IISS. There is an enormous distinction between the two powers. Russia has a considerably more proficient air area. Its air guards are more grounded. There is a colossal distinction on helicopters and planes accessible at each level, from transport airplane to contender airplane to assault helicopters. Number 8. Combat will. Ukrainian powers have, be that as it may, sent off a few efficient counterattacks. The military's most prominent strength is the sheer battle will among Ukrainian soldiers to battle. I'm truly shocked at what I'm seeing. The way that Ukrainian contender jets are as yet flying, they really took off, is amazing. Assuming Russia takes the capital soon, it'll be challenging for Ukraine to retaliate. Yet, assuming it is ineffective, the contention could become extended. Furthermore, that is the situation where Ukraine's will might demonstrate a strong weapon. Number 9. Modernization. In any case, with battling happening the nation over, the number and nature of artillery is the main consideration. Scratch Reynolds, a research analyst for land warfare at the Royal United Services Institute, said that Ukraine's aviation-based armed forces were present to a great extent to count. They are dislike modernization because of Ukraine's financial issues starting around 2014, so the tactical needs present-day air guard and big guns, especially counter-battery-mounted guns radar, and other observation hardware to distinguish foe cannons and basically have some possibility of smothering it with their own. These capabilities are basic for Ukraine's military to have the option to move and resupply itself. Number 10. Operational capabilities. Since the 2008 Georgia War, Moscow has moved its tactical spending by 30%, mirroring the significance it provides for modernizing its powers and involving its military as an arm of its international strategy. Conversely, Kyiv has a background that conveys less cash to its military than planned. Its top units have been conveyed close by NATO in global peacekeeping tasks, yet the rest are underfunded and underprepared. The majority of Ukraine's gear is what is acquired when it pronounced freedom from the Soviet Union over 20 years prior. Christopher Langton of Independent Conflict Research and Analysis in Britain says the Ukrainian military has likewise been shaken by changes expected to make it a more expert power. However, they say it's inadequate. They've gone through significant disturbances. Lately, significant changes, but with exceptionally lacking financing of gear projects and faculty change programs. Also, they attempted to end enrollment. However, this was rarely accomplished, so there's a component of induction in the Ukrainian military. This obviously debilitates the deployability of the military. Throughout recent years, the size of Ukraine's tactical power has contracted from 245,000 to 184,000. Be that as it may, it actually incorporates around 60% of recruits. So yes, these are the major comparison facts about fresh Ukraine versus Russia conflict. If you're Ukrainian or Russia, do take care of yourself, as you matter a lot to us. Dude, where are you going? You have to like the video. Good that you smashed that like button. Well, share it with your friends who are more intrigued to know details of international conflicts and wars. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you get notified whenever we post a new video. Tell us in the comments section, who do you think has more power in Ukraine versus Russia? We'll meet you in the very next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.